Well, well, well. What can I say besides Season 9? Oh, man. Hey, what's up? I got some more League content for you guys. So just earlier this week, I hit Masters for the first time playing Talon and Echo mid. I did it in around 100 games, but there's a technique out there that I've been using to give me a bit of an edge against my opponents. Let me explain it. Trinket swapping is a decently known strategy that was pioneered by the Korean solo queue god Dopa, so shoutouts to him because I definitely did not originate this trick. Also shoutout to Midbeast, who covered it on his channel briefly, and while he provided good insight for the initial part of the game, I'm here to elaborate on the implications of the strategy, explain it in its entirety, and raise awareness of it. Before I break it down into the two phases of the game, I'm going to give background information on what's going on behind the scenes. Let's say you put down 2 yellow wards, putting your trinket on a 180-second cooldown. You go back to base and swap to red trinket. You now see an 80-second cooldown. If you wait out the entire thing and swap back to yellow, magically you'll have 2 yellow trinkets available again. Essentially, just by holding onto red while yellow was on cooldown, you saved over a minute. You know how when Warwick's W is on cooldown, it goes down faster if there is no blood-scented enemy? Well, you can apply a similar logic to what's going on when you're holding onto the red trinket. Your yellow is faster internally. This is already a strong trick to utilize because you're getting more vision at a quicker rate than someone who isn't swapping. However, the potency of this strategy really shines when you take Ghost Poro from the Domination tree into consideration. It reads, whenever your ward expires, spawn a Ghost Poro that gives vision around it and gain Adaptive Force up to 10 times. You also get an additional stack if the Ghost Poro spots an enemy. If you're taking Domination tree on mid, I think this is the best minor rune in the row to take due to trinket swapping. With the background information out of the way, let's apply what we've learned. Let's break the strategy down into 2 phases, like I mentioned earlier. The first phase is at level 1. What you want to do is quickly spawn in and grab yellow trinket, placing it in the fountain instantly. Then quickly swap to red. Depending on how fast you did it, you'll see an 80 or so second cooldown. This is what you're looking for. This looks extremely trolled to your teammates, so be ready for some missing pings. Go ahead and run to mid lane when the gate opens and check for a bush invade through mid or whatever point guard strategy that you want to do, and make sure to back when you see your red trinket at around 53 seconds of its cooldown remaining. After your 8-second back timer, you will be at base with 45 seconds left on sweeper. This is important. You cannot swap with a bigger cooldown on red here. It has to be 45 seconds or lower. Then you want to swap back to your yellow trinket, and magically, your ward will be refunded to you. It's basically as if you never warded your own base. However, the ward in your base will expire as you enter lane, giving you 1 stack of Adaptive Force from the Ghost Poro rune, and putting you 1 stack closer to the big bonus that you receive after 10 stacks. It's sort of like if you walk to lane with a free eyeball if you normally take that rune. Think of it like that. Fun fact, if you do this strategy and start Longsword on Talon with absolute focus in your secondary tree, you'll start with 92 AD, which is the most possible AD for him at level 1. You also don't lose anything for doing this simple trick, as you still get to check for invades and get to lane before minions do. Another bonus note is that you can either hold your fresh ward for a river bush or jungle entrance to watch for ganks, but if you're really greedy, you can also ward the lane. Near the middle, but still on the enemy side. Just make sure it's not in tower range. The ward will expire and spawn a Poro in the lane, which is really hard for the enemy laner to dodge. They will most likely proc it, giving you 3 stacks of Ghost Poro with just your first real ward of the game. Only do this if you can play safe and the enemy isn't going to level 2 gank you. It's greedy, but worthwhile. Now, on to phase 2 of the strategy. This starts immediately after you start laning and back for the first time. Basically, you always have to be conscious of your trinket cooldown. If you're currently holding yellow, you want to swap it off during a back if it's 45 seconds remaining or higher. This is because red will have a 45 second as well, and when it's completed, you'll have 2 yellow trinkets on the next swap. Only swap from red to yellow when your cooldown is done, and don't use red because it will increase the cooldown of yellow internally. If you back and you have a yellow trinket up, you might as well place it at your feet during your back timer so you can do a fresh swap and get 2 more wards on your next back. Continue to do this rotation until you reach your max Ghost Poro stacks. Then after that's accomplished, you can choose to keep doing this strategy for more vision, or you can just sit on red. It's up to you at that point. So, why is this good? Well, the extra vision and sped up adaptive stats from Ghost Poro are all there is to it. In high elo games, the enemies won't let you get away with early kills, so you won't get your eyeball collection ramped up quickly, if at all. Ghost Poro and trinket swapping offer guaranteed stat increases regardless of the game state, and in League, consistency goes a long way. On average, I get the max adaptive stat bonuses from like 15 to 20 minutes based on how many Poros were triggered. Also, the higher elo you are, the more important vision becomes, as it helps set up plays for your own team or deter plays from the enemy team. I honestly don't see a reason to not do this in at least Diamond Plus. The only real con to the strategy is that it takes a few games to get used to. You have to adapt your playstyle and mindset around it, but believe me, it becomes second nature and feels really rewarding to do. And that about wraps it up. I hope this video did a good job at explaining the strategy and its uses. It's primarily good on mids that take domination, but top can also abuse it along with jungle. Also, don't sleep on the extra vision that the Poros give. Utility and stats bundled together is OP. Please take the time to subscribe, like, and share. This video was very difficult to pull together. I also stream and have a public Discord, links in the description below. Thank you so much again for watching and have a good one. Laters.